Hey Mama, this is Anshin. I want to just apologize for the lighting quality in this house. I'm doing this at nighttime. So I hope you all are well. I just had a very good, relatively long meeting with a midwife that I trust, and it was really very good. She was there for me at the very end of my second cryptic pregnancy with my third child, and I just opened up to her about a lot about like what I've seen over the last year and a half or so with dozens of your stories. And I let her know that I was actually able to, including my own cryptic pregnancies, feel these babies with my own hands from the outside. I have, sorry, this lighting is odd. Okay, and sorry about that. Feel some of these babies with my own hands from the outside, and really, there really isn't anything it could be, especially as a experienced mother, and many of you are experienced mothers. So, and yet there have been some circumstances where the baby just doesn't come out. For whatever reason, the pregnancy kind of just goes away, or there are some symptoms, but it keeps going on and on and on for many, many, many years. And I just started to explore with her, like, the possibilities of the mysteries of the blood and the body, and the woman's body in particular, and it's parallel to Mother Nature. I'm sorry, my thing unplugged here. Sorry, I'm rather informal lecturer here. Um, but and just the possibilities of the body being able to dissolve and recycle, even pregnancies where the baby is not well. I mean, when the baby is a substantial size or smaller, it's because there's just so many experiences I've already seen that it really couldn't be anything else, but somehow the pregnancy never completes, or it keeps going on and on and on for many years. And so, I mean, there are many theories surrounding this, but I feel like, first of all, there needs to be a really, it just really dawned on me recently, and then it really solidified when I went to talk to the midwife, and that we need to see this movement of women who are going through cryptic pregnancies, who are going through these kinds of symptoms or experiences, that we aren't a group of sick and unusual women. We are a group of women who are awakening to the mysterious and powerful and grand possibilities of being women independent of a highly intellectualized, highly male-centered medical system. And that, it's Mother Nature's way of, almost insisting that she take back what is hers, and our realization, our awakening that our bodies, our babies, our experiences are ours. They don't belong to a system. They don't belong to an institution. They belong to us. And so the things that I really experienced with this midwife, or talked about with this midwife, and experienced with her actually, that she brought up some really great points. She's highly experienced in birth. She's a very spiritual woman. Excuse me. And she said that it would be good to, to really start introducing like grounding tools for women, just because a lot of it has to do with grounding. Most of us live, especially in the Western world, where we are very much indoctrinated into a medicalized, drug-centered world where we do not take care of ourselves. We run to the doctor for everything. We ask everyone else outside of our bodies. It brings us outside of our bodies, not inside our bodies, not inside of our intuitions. This culture. And also we are very far removed from the cultures of initiation that women used to have. Women used to have cultures of ceremony, initiation, and that would ground them in a from the up and down, from spiritual to earth, heaven to earth, connect them into their bodies, into the spirit, and then they can explore into the spiritual realms and know themselves as women inside and out, and to own the womanly experience and all its mysteries and all its power and even all its wildness in a way. If you look at Mother Nature, if you've ever spent time in nature, she's orderly, but she's also sometimes she's even gruesome. she's got this wildness, to her, and that she demands respect. She demands permission from anyone who chooses to go near her. So in many ways, women are the microcosms of that. Our bodies are, and I think that she had a really good point where the midwife I spoke to, where she said that grounding. Finding tools for grounding is extremely important. So if women are going through this experience and say it's going on and on and on for many, many years, and they really need, it's almost like they really need something to happen where something is just sort of stuck, perpetuating and stuck in themselves. There needs to be an intuitive practice, an intuitive practice, or something that you lead yourself through to sort of get the questions answered here. Some really central questions, which are, what are the baby's intentions? Does the baby want to be here? Because a lot of us cannot get help from the medical field, so it's really up to us to figure out what the answers that we need, and then do the prayers, open the way spiritually in our minds for further help if we need it, and I will get to that. So. What are the baby's intentions? What is your body's intentions? What are your intentions? What do you want? And really start to own that experience and find the answers that are your truth in that moment. And really live in the present moment with the experience. So if, whatever the answer is, if the baby doesn't seem, if it seems like the answer is the baby doesn't want to be here, or the entity, the pregnancy doesn't want to continue, then we kind of act from there. But what cryptic pregnancies and these experiences that women are going through is a demand, almost as like a demand from Mother Nature, from the feminine part of the universe, on humanity, on women to claim this back, claim ourselves back from, as I said, a highly intellectualized, highly medicalized, very highly invasive world, highly chemicalized world. So, as I said before, talk about, baby's intentions, your body's intentions, your intentions, your desires, and really aligning yourself and grounding yourself enough to intuitively feel and know those answers, and then go from there. And so So that kind of segues me into this. I was asking her about, women who are experiencing symptoms of abdominal pregnancy, where the baby, and it's actually a medical condition where the baby ends up growing in the abdominal cavity outside of the womb. And so I said, we're having these really horrible situations with the hospitals sometimes, where the women just can't get help, and the hospitals do get more and more hostile towards these women who want help, who need help. We have these problems where doctors are lying to women about what they know, what they see, because of liability situations. So she said that she had a couple of suggestions, and she said that intuitively led, there are other options other than traditional medical doctors, but also alternative practitioners or alternative choices besides like mainstream hospitals, where they could potentially order you more ultrasounds or tests or whatever it is that you need. But basically, women just need someone to advocate for them, to just listen to them, in so many of these circumstances, right, ladies? If someone just listened, if someone just was just there for you, when you needed, and worked with your health, that would make all the difference. Am I right? And so she talked about, like, for example, like holistic traditional family doctors, who are, trained in family practice, family medicine, and scheduling appointments with them, and explaining to them your situation, your symptoms, and feeling out whether they're going to be respectful of your body and your needs. She said another one is in some states, alternative practitioners are licensed. So those licensed practitioners can potentially order you tests or whatever is needed, further things that are needed for your health. And I'm trying to think what else. Yes, a holistic, family doctors. Oh, the other thing is midwives. Home birth midwives many are licensed in many states, and they can work with you to be an advocate, be an in-between, between the medical field and you, or if you just want to work with them independently. That's also another choice. But to keep kind of going back to the medical field many times has proven very damaging to women. And it's almost like in some pregnancies, it disturbs that whole process, for women to go back and forth. They are constantly turned down, constantly hostilely treated, and it causes a lot of pain and unneeded anguish, and may have an effect on how the pregnancy turns out, how the woman's body responds. So it's really important for women, as I was saying, like, to have grounding tools, and I hope to do more of these videos in the future of, maybe even she suggested I start up to do webinars, for you ladies, and and ladies who are not experiencing cryptic pregnancies, but just, in general want to talk about grounding tools, ways to develop your intuition, because there's just so many things that we cannot fully control. But what we can do is open up to a reality beyond what my midwife called the CVS culture, where, like, there's 24-hour CVS, and if you got, like, a slightly stuffy nose, you go and get a drug to blast that, crap out of your nose, and you don't even think about yourself, about what your body needs. You just kind of go into a groove, the mainstream groove, and there is no intuition involved. So yeah, so that I want to recap here. So we have the grounding, we have the intuitive tools, which we can definitely do more of later. I thought I would start to organize maybe some webinars, or they have like a live video feature on here on Facebook. And and then the other thing is like holistic doctors, like doctors who are trained in like independent practice, with family medicine. There are independent home birth midwives who might be willing to listen to help. And then kind of going back to the intuitive thing, there's the asking intuitively, however it is you pray. It doesn't have to be kneeling and folding your hands, but really starting to expand an understanding of our existence as women in many realms, and in many realms that are tangible and intangible, and that we ask, what are the intentions of this experience, of the baby, of my body, what are my intentions, and listening quietly for those answers, and trusting in the process. When I was going through all of my pregnancies, but in particular my cryptic pregnancies, I realized that I just needed so much of it you can't control. So much of it is in the universe's hands. So much of it is that, that incredibly powerful unknown wildness, that we exist in. Some people call it the holy flow, or, that humanity was so the West, in the West, humanity used to be so conscious of that. And we've lost that now. But, that we become trusting in the process, and active in our searching for those answers, from a place, from a source that had, from a source that is of the universe, that is wiser than us, that can teach us. And I have to say that, with each one, the way opened up. I realized that, I wasn't gonna get all the answers right then and there, but I trusted that I would get all the answers at some point. And sometimes I really struggled, to find them, but I tried every day to trust and to ask, a greater source, my intuition, honor my intuition, ask my intuition, what is going on, what is it that I can do to help to move this process, to move the energy forward, to do things in the highest good, and I have to say that it was incredible the way things would open up, the answers that would come, to trust that process. So many women I've seen, and human beings I've seen over the years, who I work with, they freak out and derail, and almost go into this like shadow coverage, and everything just kind of goes stalemate, whereas even if you're going through a lot, even if you are really struggling and your heart is breaking, to know that you have an intuitive sense that is wise beyond what you know in your head, that you begin to attune that. And the way you begin to attune that is that you ask it. You find that quiet place and you start to exercise. It's like a muscle. Start to exercise it, and trust that things are happening for a reason. The other thing is that we live in a culture of you're sick, you're sick, and we measure and we fix it and we give you the thing that is going to fix it. And the thing is, these experiences as women, especially these pregnancy experiences, women, they are bringing us into a realm that where life really is, and where life really is that we can't measure and fix everything. That's not how nature works. That's not how the universe and the principles work. We go through life, and when things start to become troublesome or unknown, we see that as a portal through which a portal into deeper realms, into deeper understanding of who we are. And when we transform our perspective in that way, we begin to find the tools on the earthly plane, whether it's we meet up with the right person, whether it's things start to fall into place for better testing or more answers or more healing, for your body. Those things start to fall into place, and it really has to do with trusting in the process and actively attuning ourselves to our intuition. So I think I'm going to end this video now, but I feel like I want to do more, to maybe I'll utilize the live video on Facebook and do more live videos for you ladies, and just talk you through this realm. We're an underground movement. We're not sick, confused women who are going through something that the world doesn't understand, so we all need to go hide in a corner. We are a powerful medium for change. We are going through something that is powerful. Our bodies demanding that we own it, that we own our lives, that we own our intuitions, that we claim ourselves back from a highly medicalized, highly intellectualized, highly male and oppressive culture, is so important. We bring back our initiative traditions, claim our rights to our sacred body, our mammary glands, our vaginas, our ovaries, our wombs, our blood, our cycles. This is all sacred. This is what life is made of. The very existence of humankind relies on female functionality. It's an incredible thing. So I hope that I gave a couple of insights and tools there. Another thing I wanted to just mention is that obviously the body has a way of managing these things. Obviously. I mean, I've seen, as I said, I've seen pregnancies where it couldn't be anything else. I've been pregnant 3 times. I know what a baby looks like. I know what a pregnancy looks like. I have learned how to do vaginal exams, and I've definitely done vaginal exams for a couple of you, and including myself, and it feels like a pregnant cervix. The signs and symptoms are there. Now, as I said, the questions about baby's intentions, mama's intentions, body's intentions, those things are all individual. All those things are all individual truth. And that individual truth opens the way for either further help or self-help, or greater tools to help bring your body to a happy place. Bring yourself to a place that is balanced, that is decided. But there's an obvious reason why you go through this. You're going through this experience. So I'm going to end here, but as I said, I hope to do more very soon, and to utilize the live video and perhaps do webinar type things with you ladies more. So thank you very much, and I hope you have a good night. And you'll probably, those of you across the world, it's not nighttime. So good morning, good day, and thanks for watching.